again. Big opening. Pass 5. Pass 10. Burns a man. And he goes all the way to the 15-yard line. 17 yards out the carry.
Welcome back to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag and Oakbridge Wealth Management. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined as always by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Dude, every day is a holiday, especially when we bring the running backs back, especially this running back who brings honor not only to himself, but to all running backs who ever played for the university. Montee Ball, who will be the honorary captain, probably one of the biggest games at Camp Randall in a long time. So cool, dude. But thank you for being back. I will dive into that, but thank you for coming back on today.
I wouldn't miss it, man. I wouldn't miss it. And as soon as you saw, and it's funny. I'm going to share this too. Like, you sent me the text a while ago, and I don't have an excuse. I didn't see it. Bernie, you know I love you to death. Perkins, I'm calling you Perkins because both your names are Matt. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely love you guys, man. From the last time we did this, so thank you for having me. Seriously.
Well, so it's been since episode 20 was the last time you were here, and we are now, I think this is episode 253, 254, something like that. So
it's been round up.
A minute. So we are pumped to have you back, Monty. Like Bernie said, we're going to get into all of that here in just a second. Before we do, want to remind everyone that we continue to be presented by BetOnline.ag. We know you're football fans, but basketball fans can get in on the action too, because it is that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. This season, every single game matters, and BetOnline has every stat, matchup breakdown, live odds to bet on during the game, and more. But it's not just the NBA. BetOnline also has odds from everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head on over to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. That's betonline.ag. BetOnline, the game starts here. And of course, our main man, Chris Anicetti, and his team over at Oakbridge Wealth Management. If you are a pro or future pro athlete or a collegiate athlete with NIL deals, I can't imagine how much money Monty would have made in college with NIL deals. Chris Anicetti is the man that you need to connect with to get your money right. Over at Oakbridge, Chris and his team of professionals create a comprehensive financial plan to set you up to navigate your lifestyle and future market conditions. His team over at Oakbridge Wealth Management create a bespoke plan to make your money work for you off the field so you can focus on what you do on the field. Perform your best. Get in touch with Chris on Instagram at OakbridgeWM_Anicetti. That's OakbridgeWM_ANICETE. Oakbridge Wealth Management, Chris Anicetti. All right.
Dude, oodles is the word that we could use for Montee's NIL deals. Oodles of money. Just oodles. It would have been like shooting out of a hose.
I would be lying to you if I didn't say I'm not jealous. Most definitely jealous.
I'm so jealous.
Absolutely.
I actually think I would have made like $1 million. There's no way that was reality. But $1 would have been, I mean, anything more than a zero would have been. Great.
Exactly. Making some form of compensation, right? Which I'm sure we'll get into all that here. That's a sticky arena right there. NIL, transfer portal.
I like it. It's a sticky arena. That is exactly what it is. There's no other way.
I like that.
But Montee, first off, I'm hoping one day, I wouldn't lie if I didn't say I'm jealous of you being an honorary captain. And I wouldn't. So like, how does it happen? Does somebody who calls you? Like, does Macintosh call you?
What was that process?
Like, what happens? You don't apply for it. So how does it start?
Yeah, great question. Honestly, I just got an email. Which no matter how, they could have done pigeon post, which is great to me, right? Wait, no. Let me take a step back. The email came second. Nick in the UW club, right?
Pasquarello.
Yep. Called me. I was in Virginia actually visiting my family. He'll vouch for this as well. But long story short, he called me when I was in Virginia visiting family. And I was like, hey, Nick's calling me from UW Club. Let me step outside real quick, answer the call. And he shared the news with me. This was back in April or May. Yeah. So I've known for a very long time, but quite the blessing. And so, yes, first it was a phone call and then the email to follow up with just, travel arrangements, et cetera. And so I'm honored. I'm honored.
So you're saying that I should wait until April for my phone call?
No, I say
2020 something, maybe 2030 something. Listen, if it happens, if they have to wheel me out at 100, I'd be happy to do it. Wait, so that's so cool. So obviously you say yes. Yeah, like I'm 100% in. Obviously.
Yeah. Honestly, when the phone call came in, and of course I stepped outside and answered it. Got a great relationship with him, right? So I was like, "Yo, Nick," literally how I answered it. Like, "Yo, Nick, what's up, man? How you been doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been doing great, yada yada yada." And he was like, "Hey, I'm just giving you a call because, we were, thinking about some names, thinking about some guys we'd love to bring back for this game, and you were the first name that popped up, and I'm here to ask you if you'd love to be an honorary captain for the Penn State game, October 26th." And I was like, "Yes." I think I answered before he finished the sentence. So, like I said, Bernie, it's Perkins, it as well, man. Coming back to UW for any type of event, whether it's a social gathering regarding student athletes, recruiting, or any type of like BIPOC events or anything like that, I love coming back for, and obviously the football games as well. And so I love the family.
Dude, they can ask me to come sweep up the street and I would come do it. Like, there's nothing I wouldn't probably do to go back to Madison.
Isn't it special?
It's so cool. Wait, so you get the call, you say yes, you hang up, you're outside. Do you take a breath and you're like,
oh,
holy moly, this just really happened? I mean, this is like something it's more special. I mean, outside of, I think it's the probably the second most special thing to being in the Hall of Fame.
It's I'm not taking it lightly. And so, yes. So before I ended the call with Nick, I had a few seconds to really share with him how much it means to me. And he knows that. I was like, this means the world to me. Just my journey, where I'm at today, working in healthcare, which I absolutely love. We could chat about, but it's an honor. It's an honor because there are many other guys that they could have selected, right? And I don't take it lightly.
Dude, Montee, your name comes up once a week, maybe more, in almost all of my meetings because I work for the university. So we talk about football and we talk about the backs and how great, dudes have been for the past, 20 years?
Right.
And literally, dude, you don't get it. I talk about you once a week, if not that. I'm sure you don't talk about me once a week. It's okay. But I literally, I actually think it's so cool. It's so special when they're like, who are some of the best backs you were around? I'm like, dude, I could start with Anthony Davis,
right,
and then end, almost maybe Tawee Walker. Like, who knows? I've not been around him, but like Braylon Allen, I was around. Like, it's really special.
It is. I think of course, there's some guys that I've played with in the league, of course, that played in different teams in college that are different conferences, more specifically the SEC, and. We always talk about that running back you, right? One guy in particular who went to Georgia, who I played with here at Denver. We were in the backfield together. We always give each other crap, right? And I'm like, no. UW is running back you. And this is No Sean Moreno I'm talking about. I'm going to drop his name. And I'm like, yo, no, Sean, no. We're running back you. I'm like, look at our list, as you just mentioned, Bernie, right? You're talking 20 years of backs that would have started and produced it, most likely at any other school in the country, easily.
And almost every back from Anthony Davis all the way until now.
Yeah.
We've always had a dude in the NFL, pretty much. Matt Perkins, you'd have
and it's not just that. There's always been a guy who gets 1,000 yards. I think there's been a 1,000-yard back every single full season. 2020, obviously, COVID season didn't happen.
Right.
But we've had 1,000-yard back. I say we like I was there, but like – We've had 1,000-yard back since I don't think there was one in 95 and Dane was in 96, and it's been off to the races since. I don't think there was a single year without 1,000-yard back.
Yeah, what was 95? Is that Bennett at like 984 or 9? I might be wrong.
No, Bennett was after. Bennett was
2000 or
2000.
Yeah, 2000
okay,
season.
that's right. Either way, it's a ridiculously long.
Brent Moss before Dane, right? I don't know who was in 95.
Yeah, I need to check that again too. I was born in 90, so I was 5 years old. So I got, but I will say to Perkins, to what he shared is true. And I still lose sleep over this. In 2010, the second half of the season when I became a starter, we ended up finishing that season with 3 backs that almost rushed for 1,000 yards. I missed it by 4 yards. 996 yards. Me, James White, and John Clay. Yep. Yeah, that was James' year. And so,
by the way, 95, Carl McCullough ran for 1,038 yards.
Carl McCullough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We did have some running back trivia.
I love it.
So Montee, wait, I got to ask. So that's coming up. It's in 2 days, at least, when this will drop. I think the day before the game.
This will drop Friday morning.
So Friday morning. So you're literally gearing up to be at the stadium. Is there like a full day plan? Like, is there cool things you got going on? Like, I would love to hear. Like, do you have breakfast with the chancellor? Like, what do you do?
Dude, yes, it's busy. I'm doing laundry right now. Actually, the flight takes off early tomorrow, and as soon as I land, and again, I'm so blessed to, and I truly mean that, to be invited right to this stuff. And so, as soon as I land, I got about an hour and a half to get ready, and then I'm going to go speak at a BIPOC event, which is for Black, Indigenous people of color. And so, and more specifically for our student athletes, right? And so I think it's a recruiting type of thing. My experience as a Black male on UW-Madison campus, right? And so I'm looking forward to that. That's at like 3, and then, or no, that's early in that. But long story short, I have that, and then I do the radio show for them, and then I got to meet up with some friends at a gathering for my attorney friends in the evening, and then Saturday is extremely busy with events, of course, leading up to the game. NBC wants to do some stuff, a lot of different areas where I got to be. But again, it's Bernie, you know how it is, man. Once you get into like Camp Randall Stadium, you're just pulled into different rooms and doing a bunch of different exercises. But long story short, I'm looking forward to how these guys are going to perform.
Totally. And then I have a couple more questions, but yes, I want to talk about how they're going to perform. Do you get to go to practice? Like, you're going to be at practice. First off, your speaking engagements must be amazing. To come back and tell people how your literal experience must be so cool to kids who are just like you or have similar backgrounds or similar whatever it is. Must be so special. So I just want to honor that for you. It's got to be so cool. But but like, do you get to go to the running back room and like listen in?
Yeah. So I've been chatting with one of their guys today about practice, and so I will be at practice tomorrow at 3:00.
And then you're going to put a helmet and shoulder pads on just to try it out again.
I think I'm going to, actually. I really am. Bernie, well, here's the thing, man. You know the deal, right? When we would, and you're older than me, so we always talk about this stuff. Like the locker room nowadays compared to, we had, don't get me wrong, beautiful facilities, but what they have today, oh my gosh. Those guys, good for them. Good for them. But to your point, yes, I will be at practice tomorrow. Get a chance to chat with the guys. Get a chance to chat with the running backs. I've already reached out to Yak on Instagram. Had to let him know, dude, I absolutely love the way you run the football. I'll let him know that. Reached out to Walker as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys tomorrow. So that's at 3. So yeah, it's jam packed, but
sure.
Alumni weekend, right?
It's homecoming.
Yeah. Homecoming, baby.
Number 3 team in the nation, coming to Camp Randall, 6:30. It's like all the good things as a player. Montee, you play in a lot of games that are like this. What's it like? Like, what was it like for you? How nerve-wracking was it up the whole week? What was practice like?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was nerve-wracking mainly because like a lot of teams leading up to these night games, right, wanted to talk a lot of trash in the media, et cetera. But we were fortunate enough to have coaches who understood like how to talk to us about blocking out the noise. And so I wouldn't say it was like extremely annoying, but yeah, anxious, absolutely, right? Some of the big games that I played in, especially like Big Ten championship games being in the evening to obviously some night games throughout the regular season. Yeah, the jitters get you, as you both understand that, where you got this long wait period before you are about to just exert so much energy and emotion, right? At a specific time of the day. And so just a lot going through your head. And so I'm looking forward to these guys. Honestly, just to say it, it's upset alert. I think it's going to happen. I do.
let's get into this year's team. So Bernie and I have been doing a little segment we call Hang Your Hat On, is presented by Melon Hats, MELIN, the world's most durable hat. In your opinion, Monty, what can the Badgers hang their hat on this year as a team?
Oh, yeah. I think adversity, and as cliche as that sounds, I think we actually have examples. I think with the head coach, right, new head coach. I think with Fickle, right, it's still something that we're still trying to iron out. I love the way that he coaches. I am most definitely behind Fickle all the way, but again, it's still new. Right, it's still new, and obviously with Phil Longo as well. Right, with this air raid offense, it's still new stuff that some of these guys, of course, are not really too familiar with, who were here a couple seasons ago, last season, et cetera. And so I'm looking forward to these guys of overcoming this adversity. So I always mention that one. And then, of course, losing those two tough games, right? Alabama and USC, those games that we should have won. We should have won those games, and it's unfortunate that we lost them. So to see them manage just those three things off the top of my head and be where they are today, I think they can hang their head on that. They finish out the year, hopefully winning 8 games. I'm telling you, this is a different football team next season. I'm telling you.
Definitely, especially with the way that Locke has improved a lot.
I agree.
Over his last couple starts, he's starting to show that he can really be a leader. But you mentioned Tawee Walker, and I want to talk about him a little more because the first time I saw him really as our featured back, I was like, that looks like Montee 2.0 in a lot of different ways. His running style, to me, it's very reminiscent of yours, and I think he sort of functions the exact same way you would have in this offense. So what have you seen from Tawee as he's become the lead back for this team?
Absolutely. Let me take a step back first. I'm on that last question still. Like, I think another part of the adversity too is obviously your starting quarterback, right? Going down, and then just like you said, Locke stepping into the bright lights and everything, and again being where they are today. It's impressive. That is something that you can build on, right? Absolutely.
As you start bringing up, and then Ches steps back, which is not, so like there are a lot of obstacles. I think back. I don't remember dealing with a lot of these things. Like, I don't remember being in a season and, having a coach that's a year and a half, changing up offense and defense, having their number one defensive tackle go down at the beginning of the season or at camp. I mean, you're talking about having quarterback. I never had a quarterback go down. I mean, Sorgi got choked out, but then he played the next week. So you're talking about like big time obstacles, big time adversity.
Big time.
That's like, Ches stepping back, which I actually am very proud for him for making that choice.
Agreed.
Still is a huge thing for the team and individuals to deal with. And this is like stuff that happens maybe over the course of your entire career in college, maybe high school, college, and the NFL. But this has happened in like 5 weeks, 7 weeks. I mean, you're talking about, like, as you say it, Montee, like it's clicking in, like pretty crazy.
It is. Honestly, like you said, if you take a moment to really think about, again, the trajectory, like what the path that they've been on and the hurdles that they had to jump over to get to where they're at today, I'm telling you, this team finishes the season out with a bowl invitation, right? I honestly think the following year, we got a lot of great things to build on. I can see that. I can feel it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Now, Matt, to your question, of course, about Walker, I love the guy. Absolutely. And I would be lying to you. He may be one of the first backs that I've seen since I've stopped playing where I'm like, I can kind of see a little bit of myself. And I really can. And so I'm not saying that because you just said it. I promise you, my father has said it when we're watching a game. My uncle has said it. And I'm like, I can see it. And so what I like about the guy is, for one, I love the way that he runs the football. I love how shifty he is. I love how stout and strong he is. And the way that he presses the line of scrimmage is my favorite, by the way. Love the way that he presses the point of attack and then makes his moves from that way. And so I like the guy, averaging 5.4 yards a carry. Who's counting? Me. Love the guy. Love the guy. He's doing exactly what's needed to be done, plus some. And so I messaged him as well on Instagram, letting him know, love the way you're running. You run extremely hard. I'm looking forward to you dominating this weekend.
And I think the improvement of the offensive line has played a significant upgrade in that. And that to me Monty, is on offense. Probably my biggest happy surprise this season is I thought the last couple seasons were down years for the offensive line as a unit, and it's gone from what was a relative weakness to definitely a standout strength.
Right, absolutely. I think especially when you're we all know, right? The trenches are extremely important. Owning that line of scrimmage, that's how we play ball. All right, that is literally how we play ball at Wisconsin. And so I've been very excited of watching how they've been developing that O-line and how they're molding together, because I can already tell a difference from the beginning of the season to today. And there may be many different variables that go into that, but I love the way that this team is meshing together, and I love the play calling as well. Within the last 3 to 4 weeks, absolutely love the play calling, because I know it can get challenging throughout the game. Different things are happening and popping up. You're thinking this play may work. And again, I'm not just pointing at Phil Longo here. I just think that whatever's been going on this past 4 weeks with the play calling and with the stacking the plays and putting your players in the best positions to perform, I'm loving it. I really am.
Well, I agree. I think it all starts up front. These guys have become bullies. And that word is a negative word in the world, but not on the football field, right? And you need O-line who can bully people and stick dudes. And these guys have been doing it. And I don't care that maybe they're not the best teams, because Rutgers wasn't a bad team, and we put it on them at Rutgers. Northwestern, we always have issues with. We left with a win. We're on a 3-game winning streak. I think we're playing our best football.
Absolutely.
Montee, we have some young dudes who look good. You said Yacamelli. I actually love him. I was just confused when you watched the game. You're like, the guy had one rush for a touchdown, and then he rushed a couple at the end. And to me, I don't know. I'm not there every day, so I think it's like a little bizarre the way I guess they kind of the way they use some of the running backs.
Right.
But I love that he scores touchdowns, because
I do.
Who cares if you're going for one play, you score a touchdown? I'd be happy with that. But you got Dupree in the mix. What's like your overall holistic view of the running back room?
Honestly, I think they fight. You can tell. You can see some grit in those guys. It's unfortunate, of course, that Ches left. And what I'm about to say is I have a lot of respect for Ches in his decision. I actually love that he made that decision for himself. Absolutely love that he made that decision. Some players in the NFL need to do that same thing, but that's another conversation. But as for Ches, love the way that he ran. I just felt like there were moments where they could have sprinkled more guys in, because again, guys specialize in different things. James White did things that I could not do, right? Melvin Gordon did things that I could not do. But I also understand that it can be challenging for a running back coach and an OC, right? Of again, as the game's going on, different things are popping up. You're focused over here. That running back's still in the game. But for me, what I'm seeing from this running back field is that they're hungry, especially from how they responded to me too on Instagram. They are hungry, and I love the way that they're playing together. So again, from the OC to the running backs coach, the way that they are using those 3 guys, I'm liking it. Yak though, he runs so hard. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love it. I love it. Is jacked shirt.
Yak is jacked.
Ooh, I like that.
Jacked.
I like those little guys back there, though. I mean, it's this team. I'm telling you, they have the opportunity to defeat Penn State. I really believe it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that has really stood out to me about this team is that they've also been a second half team, right? I felt like in every single game they've gotten better in the second half. And there's probably a lot of, things that contribute to that. One of those, though, I think it might be a little bit of Cheribundi. We know that every single Power 4 team is using Cheribundi in the locker room to help reduce soreness, increase recovery, get better sleep, support their immunity, and more. Used by 10 of the 11 last Super Bowl champions, every NCAA football and basketball national champion since 2007. Everyone who's come on with us tells us that they love it. I love it so much. I already drank this before the show. I was going to drink it on the show, but I was too thirsty. Learn more at cheribundi.com. That's Cheribundi tart cherry juice.
It is really good. I had one after I worked out. That is not a shameless plug. It is a real thing.
It is very much a real thing.
I didn't get one.
It's so good.
They taste delicious, but supposedly they're very healthy. Wait, to go back on the Yak is Jack thing. You ever play Blitz? He looks like every dude out there playing like Blitz. Like the arms, huge arms.
I went to his Instagram. Like I said, I went to his IG profile to send him a message, and I was like, okay, I didn't know he was that jacked. I mean, I knew he was a bigger running back, like, got some density to him, but looking at his IG photos, I'm like, okay, this guy's jacked. He works out hard. He runs hard. You need guys like that. And again, I'm not saying the other backs aren't like that. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is you got a Yak in there, like a Bernie, right? You guys, a Brady Ewing. These guys run and work out hard. And that sends a message throughout the rest of the team. I'm telling you.
Dude, I'm scared. Take this off.
Look at
I'm
this.
scared. Look at that. Man.
It's insane.
That's a whole lot of muscles. More than
insane.
I've ever seen in my entire lifetime.
It's insane.
So Montee, you're saying upset alert, which I love to hear.
Yes.
I think there are a lot of variables that go into it. What do you see from the team? I mean, we didn't get into the defense that much, but what do you see? What excites you about a potential upset like this?
Honestly, I'm just so heavy offense right now in the backfield, the line of scrimmage as well. I think our defense is gonna perform well. They've performed well. We have to. This has to be a game where somebody's gonna have to step up on offense. Somebody's gonna have to snatch this game away from Penn State. That's what it's gonna have to be, because this is a good football team that we're playing, right? They're ranked number 3 in the country for a reason. Someone's going to have to step up, and on defense as well. One person on each side. Obviously, it's a collective unit, but we need a special play. That one special play. You guys know what I'm talking about, to happen from a guy. And I'm hoping it's a running back on offense just takes it 80, 90 yards, right? Just do something like that to set the tone of the game, like a David Gilreath kickoff return.
I was just about to. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say it could be a special teams play, and we've seen, incremental progress from the special teams unit this year. I think I would say, throughout the block kick last week, but running game's been good. The return game has been better, at least. So I'm interested to see if my guy Vinny Anthony is going to break one.
Yeah.
I think he's due to break one on special teams. If he gets a big downfield catch like he's done a lot in the past couple weeks, I think that will go a really long way to setting the tone for Wisconsin.
Absolutely, it's huge. It's just like David Gilreath is such a great example for that, right? We are the underdog. We have to play better than we've ever played on special teams this entire season. We need a guy on special teams to make a play, right? Block a punt or take a punt return to the house or take a kickoff return. We need a guy to make a play on all 4 aspects of the game, because we have to steal this game from a good football team.
I agree. I mean, I'm talking about, like, we need 2 picks. Somebody, Hunter Roll has like a Scott Starks has picks up the ball. Rob Brooks hits Kyle Orton. Fumbles, Rob Brooks, Sparky picks it up and runs for a touchdown. Like, we need some magic. I think we need a little magic. But these guys, what I'm excited about, they're playing their best football. And that to me is, our defensive line is playing, to me, outstanding. We have a lot better linebackers, which makes me happy. And we're going to tell you, you're not going to beat us in the backfield. You're going to beat us trying to run the football. And we want you, we're telling you, beat us. If you can beat us running the football, you're going to win. But we're going to tell you, like, we're dictating that now, I think, to teams, which we weren't before.
Which I love to see. That's why you can see this whole, like, identity. We got it. We found it. Because just to your point right now, when we're speaking about defense, you're not going to beat us in the air. We're good back there. Our shell is covered, right? So we're probably going to do a cover 2 man, right? You ain't beating us over the top. Now, you may have some holes that you may try, of course, to get through, of course, on our D line, but no, I think when you have the running backs that you have on offense that are running against those linebackers every day in defense, it helps the linebackers, right, to perform better when they're practicing against some good running backs, some really good running backs. And so I think what's needed to happen, I would love to see it, of course, Bernie, 2 picks, 3 picks, 4 picks. We don't need Superman, but we need for them to play as well as they played the first half of USC. And keep it going. Plus a couple plays that are special, right? A punt return. And I think it's going to come on special teams. I mean, I'd love for it to come from one of our backs, of course, on offense, but a special teams one would just be a full circle moment, right? A David Gilreath moment, wouldn't it?
And how much momentum does that give you? I mean, like when a special teams scores a touchdown, blocks a kick, especially. It always seems to be such a crucial turning point in almost any game.
It does. It does. People tend to forget. Like, obviously, I know that both of you understand it. Folks that are really in the game know how important special teams are. But fans, your average fan doesn't know. Once they're about to do a punt return or a kickoff, they're going to their fridge to grab, something to drink or something. But it's like that. Special teams is so important for field position, right? Or for those plays where you can just flip the entire tide of the game by blocking a punt or a snap goes over the punter's head or something like that. And so I hope there was a lot of emphasis this week in practice about special teams, and I'm going to check that out tomorrow.
I agree with you. I do think we need to play the best football we've ever played. We've actually been really good in penalties, so I'm not nervous about that aspect. I think we had 3 last week.
Yeah, they've been one of the cleanest teams in the country.
Amazing. I do think we can have. If we have 1 turnover, I'd be like, okay, but we cannot have 2.
No,
I think 2 is a losing game for us. You just give Penn State the ball too many times, and it's not that for them. That's a momentum. That's points on the board. So I think we have to really limit to 1 or none. And I think we got to no big plays. Let them try to grind it out and beat us. But again, this is a magic moment where teams have come in and have made mistakes at nighttime at Camp Randall, where people are crazy.
Absolutely.
Stadium's going to be filled to the brim with crazy people going hard, cheering on their team. I mean, did you see the social media from Wisco Chicks maybe? And they posted a map with how they're going to take the goalpost and throw it into the lake. It's so funny. I had to like it.
I didn't see it. I saw it, and I literally scrolled right by it, and I scrolled back, and I was like,
"What is this?"
I was like, "What is this like GPS to the?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what that was."
They're saying when we win, they're going to take the goalpost and throw it in the lake. I couldn't laugh harder at this stuff. So that everyone, their parents, their grandparents, people who aren't even fans. I even know Penn State people are going to the game who have no kids there. No kids. They're just going to be there because this is such a huge game in the country.
Exactly. So I think, Bernie, so sorry to interrupt you, man, because I want to touch on that point right there where it's like it's obviously a huge game for UW, huge game for Penn State, but for the conference as well too, right? Let's be honest. There's still this Big Ten SEC battle, right? It's always going to be that way for the players, for the fans, and I love the fact that this is Big Ten football we're going to see Saturday night. This is what this conference is about. Big Ten football, Wisconsin versus Penn State. Those trenches are going to be nasty, and it's going to be grueling. It's going to be cold. It's going to be pads just hitting each other after and after, run play after run play. This is Big Ten football, so it's huge. It's huge for the conference, for both schools involved, and for the fans. And so I'm excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we get you out of here, I actually wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what you're doing now, because you're doing a lot of things. You're doing a lot of different things. And from afar, like, your life looks like it's just like a tapestry of incredible different like journeys and things like that, and motivating people. So like, for everyone else out there, like, what are you up to these days, man?
Yeah. Great question. To what you said there, that's intentional because, like, for me, I stepped away from the game for like 6 years, right? To 6 to 7 years to really, figure out who I am. Who is Montee? What are the things that I love? What are the things that I'm passionate about? And that was such a beautiful thing that I did for myself, because now coming back into the game, and I want to get back to the game full time now, but now coming back, I have both sides of the world. Like, okay, no, I am football. My higher power gave me this. This is what I love. This is who I am. But I work in healthcare. And so for me, what I'm extremely passionate about is making sure that our underserved communities have equitable access to our healthcare, right? To what that looks like, right? Obviously, we can talk about just going to the regular PCP, right? Or going to get any other type of checkups. But for me, I work in the healthcare industry where I'm just making sure that DEI is in there, right? We're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? When we're talking about some of these rural areas that do not have access to this healthcare. And so I'm trying to bridge gaps. And so that's what I do for a living, literally for a living. I go around, speak about DEI and healthcare. I work for treatment facilities. For me, I really love doing that because it fills my cup, but that's my passion. My passion is, and if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see the trajectory of my career path. I love providing healthcare resources to underserved communities. If there was just one sentence about what Montee does, that's what he does. Now, how does he do it? With the help of healthcare professionals like doctors, obviously hospital staff, treatment facilities, nonprofits. We put our heads together, we put our resources together, and we pour those resources into these underserved communities.
I love it. Love the passion, dude.
Yeah, man. I went this whole circle there, but I'm like, let me try to just simplify this in one sentence for folks. That's what I'm passionate about. Thank you, Bernie. That's what I love because healthcare changed my life for the better. It did. It did. Going through the process of finding therapy, finding a therapist, insurance. What is this? And that's what I specialize in, is in insurance literacy for folks. I help them with that and just making sure that they have that access to a healthcare professional.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
That's
Dude,
really fantastic.
Good luck. Enjoy. Yes. Take a breath when you're walking out on that field and look around, like all those things.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch and see you out there. I'm so happy for you. It's so cool. And just enjoy your Madison celebrity trip.
I'm excited, man. Thank you, Bernie. I'm sad you're not going to be there, my guy. Sad you're not.
So if we win, you're going to be standing on the goalpost while everyone carries it off like a chariot. They'll throw you in the lake. You'll be okay with that?
I would love to do that, but I feel bad for UW if that does happen, because that's going to be one hefty fine for the city.
I actually think the goalposts do not come down. I think they're the ones that don't break off very easily.
I think you're right, because back in which, again, this was, 14 years ago, right? 2010, when we beat Ohio State. Yeah, I saw people, but it wasn't detaching. It was not.
It'll sway and move, but it will not break. Okay. I think. Okay. My brother was on there in 2003 when we beat Ohio State when they were 18-0. He was up there shaking it. So and he's not a big guy, but I don't think it breaks. So I would be thrilled if not thrilled, but if somehow it was okay with everyone, Mac down, that said, yes, you guys can take the goalpost out of the stadium. Montee can ride it, and you can throw him and the goalpost into Lake Mendota only if we win. I would win just for that.
I'll ask him tomorrow, and I'll shoot you a text.
Yeah, like he says.
And I'll shoot you a text because
if you ask Mac if you could ride the goalpost into Lake Mendota, I don't know how he would say no.
He's saying yeah. Mac's a player, right? He's a former player. He's saying yes.
He might be under there supporting it.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, he's someone you would want under there supporting it. He's a big, strong guy.
It is.
I would trust Mac. I would trust Mac to carry the goalpost with me on top of it.
He's a strong guy for sure. And all jokes aside, obviously, not one to advocate for property destruction, not ever. But I shouldn't say but. I should say and. I think there's a way of going about celebrating the game in a way that's good for, the fans, the players, and the recruits watching. Maybe we can just pull the goalpost up. Maybe we don't have to rip it up, and maybe we have police escort to the lake.
Yes, we figure out a way to gently, without damaging anything, do this.
Or
I'm in it. I think there's a way to, no matter if we win Montee Ball, I am going to somehow paint a picture, or I'm going to get somebody else to do it, of you riding the goalpost under people getting thrown into the lake. Somehow there's a way to do that, and I will find that artist.
How about this? Let me try to figure out a way if the stadium all clears out and I could just climb up the goalpost and have someone take a photo of me, and I'll send it to the both of you.
Just text me. I'll be there. I'll
that's right.
Matt will take the picture for you.
Yeah, there you go.
I love you, fellas, man. This is awesome.
I hope
Montee, thank you.
Brindle
Thank you
Security
so much.
isn't
Enjoy
listening
it, man.
now. But yes, we appreciate you as always for tuning in, and we really appreciate honorary Captain Montee Ball for stepping up with us today ahead of his big weekend. We hope that everyone enjoyed this, and thank you again for tuning in to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. Until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin, baby.